Jamahal Hill versus Khalil Rountree takes place this Saturday in Azerbaijan. I'm going to go through the full card, giving my thoughts and predictions on each fight, and then I'm going to record a BJ Penn update and possibly go live. We'll see. I spent more time than I thought I would making this slide and getting this done correctly. But you guys know there's going to be spelling mistakes, but here we go. Here's my predictions. Starting with Muhammad Usman taking on Hamdi Odoa. This this is a fight to say the least. So you have Usman's brother Muhammad Usman, who lost to Thomas Peterson last year in July, lost to McParkin in March of last year as well. Before that was on a 3-fight win streak against Dick Collier, Junior Tafra, and Zach Pago by second round left hook. Hamdi he beat Jamal Pogues by split decision. He had the no contest against Dontel Mays, where he was on a ton of steroids. Definitely doesn't look like he was, though. And then he had a couple first round finishes, wagging or a TKO win against Dustin Clemens. Um, this is this is an interesting fight to say the least. I'm going to go with Muhammad Usman, Kamal Usman's brother. Hamdi is a scarier fighter. I just think Usman has more experience. Usman knows when to grapple. He knows when to strike. And I feel like him mixing it up against Hamdi will be too much. I see it going to a decision. Maybe we see a finish, but I just don't see it. So Muhammad Usman will probably get it done 29-28. I think that he'll win the third round for sure. And then I don't know whether he'll start off aggressive and win the first, or it's going to be just him figuring out how to engage with Hamdi in the first round. We move on to Tagira Olenbekov versus Azmat supposed to be or Azat Maxim. Now, Azat Maxim 15-1 Tagira Olenbekov. He's with the Nurmagomedov camp on a 3-fight win streak. Just beat Clinton Carpenter by unanimous decision, handing him his first loss in his professional career. Submitted Cody Durden, submitted Nate Maness, lost to Tim Elliott by unanimous decision way back at UFC 272, and had a split decision win over Alan Escobedo at UFC 267. Maxim, he just lost to Charles Johnson. He got bonus for that fight though. Really fun fight. He won his debut against Tyson Nam by split decision. And when he came into the UFC, he won his 3 fights, 2 first round submissions, 1 unanimous decision win over Alan Gabriel. This is a tricky fight, but I think Takedo Olenbekov is the better grappler. He just beat a really good prospect in Clayton Carpenter, and I think he'll just control this fight. I think he'll get the takedowns when needed. Maybe he holds him up against the fence most of the fight, but I just see Takedo's experience, his preparation, being too much for I already forgot his name as that Maxim. Um, Let me make sure I'm spelling this guy's name right. I just did it. I want to make sure that I have it correctly. Maxim. Whatever. I'm just gonna go with it. I'm wasting too much time. Then we have Irina Alexieva, 5-2, taking on Claudia Segura. Alexieva lost to Melissa Mullins in her last fight. had a first round submission in her UFC debut against Stephanie Egger. Beat Stephanie Page over Bellator. Lost to somebody named Lua Kazak. And had another first round armbar. Psycho also lost to Melissa Mullins, getting finished by ground and pound in the second round. Uli Kaczynski, she won by technical knockout at a first round knockout over uh, somebody named Anna, and two unanimous decision wins. This is women's MMA. It's either going to be the best or worst fight on the card. I'm going with Irina Alekseeva. Her record is more impressive. Some of the names on there have better records. Has been an actor for 2 years. So maybe she's refocused, or maybe it hurts her. But again, it's women's MMA. Predicting women's MMA is impossible nowadays. Then we move on to yet another fight. Daria Selhennikova, 9-2, taking on the mentioned Melissa Mullins. Daria got submitted by Aline Perez in the last fight. Before that was on a 2-fight win streak. Won her debut against Montserrat Rondon and TKO'd Mary Lucille. You had the loss to Mr. Melissa Mullins over at Ayers FC, and the unanimous decision win there. You got Melissa Mullins now coming off a win against we know that. Got KO by Nora Canome, who's looking impressive. Irina Alekseeva, she beat as well. The win against Daria, and Rizine Shuk. Uh, Zoak, however you say these names, I don't know anymore, dude. Um, I'm going with Melissa Mullins here. She finished her in the first round 2 years ago. She controlled Daria most of the fight, and I just don't see any big improvements coming out of these fighters from what I studied on their fights, which was not much. So I'm going with Melissa Mullins. Then we have Ismail Nardiev taking on Jung Young Park. This should be a fun fight. Nardiev on a 2-fight win streak just beat Bruno Silva by unanimous decision at UFC 308. Submitted Tahir Adbi. Went on a 2-fight losing streak. Got knocked out by Vadim Kutsi at Brave. Got submitted by Martin Bandel with an armbar in the first round. And Bektan Zinbekov, he beat or knocked out. Brad Tavares coming off of a split decision, and Young Park coming off of a split decision win over Brad Tavares, lost to Muniz by a split decision, and was on a 3-fight finishing streak, all by Rene Kachok, 2 first rounds, won the first round against Danish Tuin. I'm going to go Young Park. Nardiev really has no specialty. He's not an amazing striker. He doesn't have power. He doesn't have a signature submission. He is well rounded, though. It's just I don't see any X factors. And Park just ran through Tavares in that fight. His only loss is to Muniz at the UFC level, and he's really impressed me in his time in the UFC. So I see him getting it done here. I can even see him get a 30-27, just because once again Nardiev is well rounded. What is that big thing you look at him and say, this is where he wins the fight? I don't see that. Then we move on to see Sean Cole taking on Orban Elliott. I like this fight. Cole is on a 4-fight win streak. Three of them by finish. Three of them by TKO to be exact. Got KO'd by Han Chor Kim. Before that, Did he win the double GFC belt? I forgot. I don't think he did. Then you move on to Oban Elliott. Just TKO'd Basil Halfers in the third round. Really impressive win at UFC 309. Beat Preston Parsons. Beat Val Woodburn. Beat Kate Brittle and James Sheen. All by decision. Um, and he really did impress me in his contender series fight against Brito. I'm gonna go a bit over Elliott here, coming off one of his better wins by KOing Basil Hafez on an 8-fight win streak since being finished in 2018. Can mix up the martial arts, which I don't know, man. MMA is no longer MMA most of these fights. It's very rare you see fighters actually mixing it up the way that Open Elliott does. Not saying nobody does, but it's kind of getting rare now. And I have to see Cole in the UFC to really know what we have with him. Because if you guys follow my channel, I am one of the biggest road to UFC haters. And majority of the time, I'm completely right in saying all these guys coming over from Japan, China, they struggle at the UFC level, and Oban Elliott has been at the UFC level for quite some time now. But I seen getting it done, staying at range, shooting the takedown when he needs to, and just overall having a better performance. Then we move on to Muhammad Naimov versus Bogdan Grad. Muhammad Naimov coming out from a win against O'Feely, got submitted by Felipe Lima. Uh, had the leg injury win against Eric Silva, beat Nathaniel Wood, KO Jamie Malarkey. Grad, he finished Alexander in his last fight in February. Beat Michael Aswell by split decision on the Contender Series. Submitted Corona Batista before that. Bruno Marino by a flying knee. And lost to Tom Nolan by a first on KO his first time on the Contender Series. I It's tricky. I think Namor gets it done. Really good grappler, decent striking. I could see him getting a finish. I just think that he's able to do more with his abilities in the stand-up and grappling. I feel like he's more of a threat in more positions on the ground, and I think that he'll outstrike. Once again, I forgot his name. Bogdan Rad. Yeah. So I see him winning by decision. We move on to Nazem Zadikov taking on Nicholas Moda. This is this is a fight right here. Sadikov coming off of a first round doctor stoppage over Ismail Bonfim had a majority draw against Vasily Borshev. Submitted Terrence McKinney, beat Evan Edward by a third round doctor stoppage, and KO'd Ahmad Hassan Zada in the third round with the right hook. I hate seeing some of these names. Then Moda, he just beat Manasetti in his last fight in November. Um, KO'd Tom Nolan in the first round, which was really impressive. Tom Nolan, to that point, was undefeated, I do believe, and um, is a really impressive prospect. Or yeah, he's not the Tom. No, I'm thinking of Arnold that one. Because for some reason I thought Tom Nolan fought Max Holloway. I genuinely do not know. Trey Ogden had a no contest with him. I forgot what that no contest was about. Got KO'd by Manuel Torres and KO'd Cameron Van Camp. I'm gonna go Sadikov to get it done in the second round by TKO. Both fighters are dangerous on their feet. I see I see a finish coming out of this fight. It's kickboxing versus boxing, and the main thing with Sadikov that I think will help him here is his size. I believe like he's 5 inches taller. He has the reach advantage, which again I feel like people put way too much weight on reach advantage. But again, if you can use it, if you can find that distance, it is an advantage. Not very many fighters use it though. So I'm going to go with Zadikov. Then we can move on to Mentek Oralbai versus Tufik Musayev. Oralbai coming off of arguably, if not the fight of the year last year against Matthias Rebecki at UFC 308, lost by split decision, but it was one of the best fights in UFC in years. Um, for that though, the Elvis Brenner by unanimous decision submitted Euros Medic, TKO'd Hayward Charles over an LFA, and got another TKO at LFA in August of 2023. Rashaev coming in from Ryzen, KO'd Koji Takanda in his last fight, all the way back in 2023. KO'd Akira Okada as well. Got TKO'd by Alexander Sabli and TKO'd Sidney Outlaw, submitted by Robert D'Souza. I'm going to go with Matek Worldby. Cleaner wrestler, I think. He'll have an easier job finding the position he wants to in the clinch on the ground. He keeps a heavy pace too. He is constantly running at you during the fight. He does gas out. He does gas out, but again, it's a pace that not many fighters can deal with. And like I mentioned, he had the fight of the year against Matthias Rebecki last year. I expect this one to be a lot more safer than that fight. That's not the right one. I expect it to be a lot more slower. I expect this to be Oralby's opportunity to show that that fight wasn't a fluke, that he is legit, and I see him getting it done by decision. Maybe a finish late, but I doubt it. We move on to Curtis Blades taking on Riz Vankuniev. Why is Riz Vankuniev automatically getting a shot at the number 5 contender? Like, what is with us bringing in ex Bellator, ex PFL fighters and instantly giving them shots at top contenders? We gave Kyle Sakura a shot at the belt. I'm hitting my mic. Um, but with Blades, you know what you're getting. Last fight, he got killed by Tom Aspinall in the rematch. Before that, Tom Aspinall injured his knee in the first round of the first fight. He KO'd Jolton Almeida in the second round, which is a really good win to have. Jolton Almeida, one of the best grapplers in heavyweight. He's decently small, but he is one of my favorite heavyweights to watch, and I believe that Almeida has what it takes to become a champion in this division. He got killed by Pavlovich in the first round back in 2023, but Pavlovich was on that insane run until running into Tom Aspinall. And then you had the KO over Chris Dawkins back in March of 2022, where he won a performance bonus. Then Knev, he's coming in off of the Contender Series. KO'd Hugo Kuna in the first round, knee to the body, followed it up with strikes on the ground. He had a no contest against Lenin Ferreira for being on nearly every steroid on the planet. He submitted Anthony Hamilton to defend his belt at Equal FC, KO'd Edwin Santos, and KO'd Vladimir Danko in his first defense of the Equal FC heavyweight belt. I've been saying it. I cannot trust these Bellator fighters. I cannot trust these PFL fighters. Curtis Blades has been in the top 5 since 2018. 2018. And he has been in there with the best they have to offer. He's been in there with Almeida. He's been in there with Aspinall twice. And like I said, Rizvan popped for every steroid on the planet for the Ferreira fight. Again, I love how when I make these slides, only certain notes stay. But yeah, it's you're not gonna have that shit fly in the UFC. And he's one of the best grapplers in the heavyweight division, has been for quite some time. And Blades has everything he needs to become a champion. It's just when he gets into the that moment where it's do or die, he's came up short. But I expect him to get it done in the second round, using the wrestling in the first round and maybe catches him off of a fake takedown, or even in the clinch, unloading some hooks and elbows, dropping uh, Rizvan against the fence, and finishing that way. But yeah, then we move on to Rafael Fiziev versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Rafael Fiziev, man. How I like Fiziev. I think Fiziev is one of the best Muay Thai strikers we have. And for Muay Thai fans, the co-main and main event are going to be your favorite fight. Let me come back to Fiziev. Bahamondes cracking into the top 15. Just submitted Jalen Turner in the first round. TKO Manel Torres very impressively at UFC 306. Got another head kick knockout over Christos Giagos. Lost to Adobe Klein, who Klein, what did he fight recently? I, oh yeah, he fought, shit, Gamma. Uh, and that ended up being the main event of the Macy Barber and Blanchfield card. Again, forgettable card. Um, but it's tricky. It's really tricky because he did take 2 years off before the Gaethje fight. He did look good in that Gaethje fight, but again, it's do I really trust Fiziev? Do I really think that he can rebound against a very, very hot, surging contender in Bahamondes? I think it goes to a decision. I think Fiziev is very durable. He's been on a tear since losing line, and it's, yeah, uh, rangy kickboxer versus Matt Thai, supposed to be Muay Thai, um, rangy kickboxer versus Muay Thai fighter. I'm gonna go with the rangy kickboxer. I think that he may struggle in the first few rounds. Rafael Fiziev does have a very tricky style to really comprehend and get down the rhythm, but I think that it goes to a decision. He outlands Fiziev, and he moves on, and now is about to crack into the 155 division as a serious contender, and we'll see what will happen with him. Then we move on to Khalil Rountree versus Jamahal Hill. Jamahal Hill, we know what's up. Lately, Jamal Hill has become public enemy number one of the MMA community because he's a troll and he likes to make it entertaining. And initially, I was not a big fan of the trolling that Hill did, but over time, Hill has become one of my favorite fighters purely off of how hilarious this guy is. Again, on his Instagram, whenever he does interviews and all of that. But he got KO'd by Yuri Prohaska in the third round pretty badly. But again, Yuri has only lost to Alex Pereira in this division. Then, of course, you had the first round knockout at UFC 300. It was controversial. Hardin did stop it, and then Alex Pereira advanced, hit him with a hook, and he went out cold. He does have an argument there after going back and watching that multiple times. You, of course, had the retirement of Glover Teixeira where he went into Brazil and dog walked Glover Teixeira, and everybody left in the crowd while Glover Teixeira was playing his heart out. Really nice Brazil. But then they had a fourth round TKO over Thiago Santos, a first round TKO over Johnny Walker. We know that he is one of few fighters who came in from the contender series and actually won that belt. Obviously, he had to vacate it and all that stuff. And then you get the Khalil Rountree, right? Khalil Rountree. Now, before the Magomed and Goliath fight, which was supposed to be the fight in October, I would say. It was definitely a fight put together so that Pereira had an easier fight. Now, I'm not saying Khalil Rountree is an easy fight. I'm saying the UFC looked at it and said it's better that we give him the stand-up fight. We make our money here, and then we give him to Magomed Ankalaev, a guy that we're not sure is very promotable. And I think Ankalaev is very promotable. But you have one guy kind of free flowing at the top of the division. You have another guy trying to make his way officially into the top of light heavyweight. And I think Khalil Rountree gets it done. I think he gets it done in the fourth round. He was just knocked out by Gary in January. Once again, it did not save my fucking eye on Yuri's name. But whatever. Whatever. We're already done this. Hill got knocked out in January. What would that be? We're in June, a five month recovery. Usually you need a year. Just had the most impressive performance against Pereira, in my opinion. Magomed and Quiet beat him, but what Khalil Rountree did in those first two rounds was incredible. And it's not like he got knocked out. It was his body literally giving up. And he was finished before. He isn't finished multiple times. He's a knockout. He isn't finished. But we also need to see how he does against top contenders, right? And I think that this fight being made four, five, six times, however many times it's been, I think this is Khalil Rountree's fight to lose, honestly. I think Hill was very good. I think Hill was very underrated. All of the circumstances aligning around this fight are in favor of Khalil Rountree. And maybe after that, maybe he goes on to fight Erie. We'll have to see what's going on with the rematch between Pereira and Ankalaev. Apparently, Ankalaev has accepted the fight twice in the summer. Alex Pereira turned it down, but then he, made his response. I don't know. But, all in all, it's an alright fight night card. Again, don't really have much promotion from the UFC from Dana White. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this main event and co-main event. But let me know, what do you think about my picks? What are your picks? I'm gonna go record my update on VJ Penn. Possibly do a little stream after, but start at 4 o'clock, and um, still gonna do other things. We'll see. But yeah, let me know what you think down below of my predictions.